Saúl Canelo Álvarez was born on July 18, 1990, in the small rural town of San Agustin, Jalisco, Mexico, into a humble farming family where survival depended on daily physical labor, patience, and sacrifice. He was the youngest of 8 children, and most of his older brothers would later become boxers themselves, unknowingly building the environment that would shape the future of one of boxing's greatest modern champions. From early childhood, Canelo worked alongside his family raising livestock, cleaning stables, and enduring long hours under the sun, learning discipline long before he learned how to throw a punch. His red hair and freckles made him stand out in a country where such looks were uncommon, earning him the nickname Canelo, meaning cinnamon. As a young boy, he watched his brothers train and fight, absorbing the toughness of boxing through observation before ever stepping into a gym. At the age of 13, inspired by what he saw at home and driven by a desire to escape poverty, Canelo entered a boxing gym for the first time under the guidance of José Chepo Reynoso, the trainer who would later become one of the most important figures of his life. From the first day of training, Canelo showed natural balance, strong fundamentals, and unusual power for a boy of his size. He did not rely on speed or athleticism alone. Instead, he built his style on patience, timing, and relentless repetition. He trained before school and after school, often staying late into the night, showing from an early age that boxing for him was not a hobby but a life mission. In 2005, at just 15 years old, Canelo made the extremely risky and rare decision to turn professional, a move that demanded courage, maturity, and mental strength far beyond his age. He began fighting in small arenas across Mexico, often competing every few weeks against older and more experienced opponents. These early years were brutal but priceless, as each fight sharpened his toughness, confidence, and ring intelligence. By the time he turned 18, Canelo had already fought dozens of professional bouts, building a reputation for heavy hands, calm pressure, and fearless attitude. His right hand became a feared weapon, his composure under pressure grew stronger, and his technical skills matured rapidly despite his youth. In 2011, at just 20 years of age, he defeated Matthew Hatton to capture the vacant WBC light middleweight championship, becoming one of the youngest world champions in WBC history and turning instantly into a national hero in Mexico. With the world title around his waist, Canelo entered the global boxing spotlight, defending his belt against skilled contenders while learning to handle fame, wealth, media attention, and massive expectations at an age when most fighters are still developing. Despite his success, his career faced a turning point in 2013 when he stepped into the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr., the undefeated master of defense and strategy. The fight was promoted worldwide as a clash between youth and experience. On fight night, Canelo showed courage but was outclassed by Mayweather's timing, movement, and tactical brilliance over 12 rounds, suffering his first professional defeat. That loss became the most important lesson of his life. Instead of breaking his confidence, it humbled him and awakened a deeper hunger for mastery. After the defeat, Canelo returned to the gym with obsession, rebuilding himself into a complete boxer by sharpening his footwork, improving his head movement, perfecting his counterpunching, and learning the art of patience. Over the next several years, he rebuilt his legacy by defeating elite fighters such as Austin Trout, Alfredo Angulo, James Kirkland, and Erislandy Lara, each fight adding another layer to his technical and psychological growth. In 2015, he defeated Miguel Cotto to win the WBC middleweight championship, officially becoming the new face of Mexican boxing on the world stage. His popularity exploded across Mexico, the United States, and beyond. His pay-per-view numbers skyrocketed, and Canelo became one of the highest-paid fighters in the sport. Yet while fame and money surrounded him, his discipline inside the gym remained unchanged. The most defining rivalry of his career soon arrived in the form of Gennady Golovkin, one of the most feared knockout artists of his generation. Their first fight in 2017 became one of the most anticipated boxing events of the modern era, with fans around the world waiting to see whether Canelo's skill could survive Golovkin's relentless power. The bout ended in a controversial draw that divided the boxing world, with many believing Golovkin had done enough to win while others praised Canelo's defense, movement, and counters. The controversy fueled global debate and set the stage for an even greater rematch. In 2018, Canelo and Golovkin met again in an even more intense and brutal battle. This time, Canelo stood his ground, fought aggressively in the center of the ring, and showed fearless determination against one of the most dangerous punchers in boxing. After 12 exhausting rounds, Canelo was awarded a narrow decision victory, cementing his place among the elite pound-for-pound fighters in the world and proving that he could not only survive pressure but dominate against it. Their trilogy fight in 2022 closed the rivalry definitively, with Canelo delivering a clear and disciplined performance that left no doubts about his superiority at that stage of their careers. Unlike many champions who dominate only one weight class, Canelo dared to challenge size and physical limits. He moved up and down divisions and captured world titles at light middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight, constantly testing himself against taller, heavier, and stronger opponents. In 2019, he shocked the boxing world by knocking out Sergey Kovalev to win the WBO light heavyweight title, proving that his power, timing, and ring intelligence could conquer even naturally larger champions. Between 2020 and 2021, Canelo achieved one of the rarest accomplishments in modern boxing history by becoming the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world in less than 1 year. He unified all 4 major belts by defeating Callum Smith, Avni Yildirim, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant in dominant and convincing fashion, creating history and standing alone at the top of the division. His evolution as a fighter was now complete: elite defense, devastating body punching, sharp counters, relentless pressure, strategic patience, and supreme ring IQ combined into one of the most complete fighters of the modern era. Outside the ring, Canelo built a massive business empire, investing in real estate, fitness brands, promotions, and various business ventures, becoming one of the richest athletes in the world and redefining fighter independence in professional boxing. He signed record-breaking contracts and proved that a boxer could control his own destiny without being bound to traditional promotional systems. Despite his success, his career was not free from controversy. In 2018, he failed a drug test that he attributed to contaminated meat, sparking global debate, criticism, and temporary suspension. Yet once again, he returned to the ring and answered every doubt with dominant performances, proving that his true strength was inside the ropes. Deeply connected to his roots, Canelo consistently supports youth boxing programs, educational initiatives, and charitable causes across Mexico, helping young fighters chase the same dream he once pursued as a poor farm boy. Family remains central to his identity, and despite his wealth and global fame, he continues to live a disciplined and relatively private life. Canelo Álvarez became more than a boxer. Millions of fans saw their own struggles reflected in his rise from poverty to global greatness. Despite fame and wealth, Canelo remains deeply connected to his roots. He supports youth boxing programs, funds scholarships, and contributes to charities across Mexico. He was forced to take fights on short notice, away from home, against experienced opponents. Many times, he accepted fights with little time to prepare and for minimal pay. He traveled across the country to unknown arenas, fighting men who had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Despite the obstacles, Hagler kept winning. He fought frequently, sometimes twice in a single month. Each victory added to his reputation as an avoided menace, a fighter too dangerous for contenders and too unknown for champions to risk facing. Still, opportunities refused to come easily. In 1976, Hagler faced Willie the Worm Monroe in Philadelphia. Monroe had twice beaten Hagler early in his career, exposing flaws in his awkward style. But the third time, Hagler adapted, learned, and dominated. He stopped Monroe, proving that he could grow, adjust, and overcome. It was an early sign of the elite intelligence that would define his reign as champion. Family remains at the center of his life. Over the years, Canelo faced every possible fighting style: slick boxers, brutal punchers, aggressive pressure fighters, tall defensive specialists, and awkward movers, yet he continued to adapt and evolve, proving that intelligence and preparation are as important as raw power. His body punching became legendary for draining opponents' stamina and breaking their will. His defense grew smoother with time, his patience deeper, and his confidence unshakable. With every fight, he refined his craft and strengthened his legacy. To millions of fans across Mexico and around the world, Canelo is far more than a champion. He is a symbol of perseverance, reinvention, national pride, discipline, and relentless ambition. From a poor farm boy waking before dawn to clean stables in Jalisco to the face of global boxing headlining stadiums and pay-per-view events worldwide, his journey represents sacrifice, failure, obsession, growth, and ultimate triumph. Today, Saúl Canelo Álvarez stands among the greatest fighters of the modern era, a multi-division world champion, an undisputed king, and a cultural icon whose influence reaches far beyond boxing. He did not inherit greatness. He earned it through years of pain, sweat, discipline, courage, resilience, and an unbreakable will, and with every fight he continues to write one of the most powerful stories in the history of sport.